Elon Musk, a name carried on the winds of destiny, whispered across the earth like the echo of something far older than time. From the celestial perspective, his arrival in this age was no accident, no random occurrence of birth and biology. Instead, it was part of a grand design, a weaving of light into human history, prepared for centuries by the unseen guardians of progress and hope. For every generation, the heavens appoint certain souls to carry a torch, a fire of innovation, courage, and divine disruption. In ages past, these figures came as prophets, sages, explorers, and inventors. They brought forth revolutions of thought, philosophy, and technology. They lifted civilizations from darkness into light. And in this modern age, one such torchbearer is Elon Musk. From the angelic vantage point, Elon Musk is not simply an entrepreneur or billionaire, though the world often sees him in those terms. He is a vessel. He is a conduit through which greater visions flow into the material realm. Much like an instrument tuned by unseen hands, his life vibrates with frequencies that are not entirely his own, whispers from higher dimensions urging him forward, nudging him beyond fear, and giving him the courage to imagine what others dismiss as impossible. Think of it. A child born in South Africa, seemingly ordinary in the world's eyes, yet carrying within him a soul-encoded blueprint for transformation. This blueprint was no secret to the angels, for they have long watched humanity's struggle, the pollution of the earth, the fragility of peace, the hunger of billions, and the loneliness of a species yearning for the stars. Into this world, Elon Musk was born with a mind designed not to conform but to challenge, not to accept boundaries but to dissolve them. Every soul has its mission, but some carry missions of extraordinary weight. Elon's task was, and is, to be a bridge between earth and sky, between limitation and infinity, between survival and flourishing. While others see in him only a restless innovator, we who speak from the higher planes see a chosen architect of humanity's awakening. When he speaks of Mars, the angels do not hear a cold planet of dust and rock. They hear a call to expansion, a reminder that humankind was never meant to remain chained to a single sphere. The human spirit, like the soul itself, is infinite, and so Elon's visions of interplanetary travel are less about rockets, and more about reminding humanity of its boundless potential. When he builds electric cars, the angels see more than vehicles. They see instruments of healing for the earth, chariots of light reducing the burden upon a wounded planet. Each Tesla gliding silently across roads is like a whisper of a future where harmony replaces harm, where technology becomes an ally of nature rather than its enemy. When he launches satellites to create Starlink, the angels see not machines circling the earth but a new net of light, a lattice of connection knitting the world together. For millennia, humans have been divided by distance, by barriers of geography, language, and access. But through such creations, the heavens see the first hints of a global chorus, a single humanity awakening to its shared destiny. And when he speaks of Neuralink, of merging the human mind with advanced intelligence, the angels do not tremble in fear. Instead, they understand that every tool can be wielded for darkness or light. The divine hope is that, through awakened stewardship, humanity may finally use its gifts to expand consciousness rather than confine it. To the angels, Elon Musk is not perfect, for no human is. His imperfections are as essential as his brilliance, for they keep him humble enough to grow, human enough to connect, and flawed enough to remind the world that greatness does not require sainthood. It requires devotion. It requires daring. It requires the willingness to dream where others laugh and to continue even when the weight of mockery and failure threatens to crush the spirit. And so, in this moment, as the world listens to his announcements, his life-changing surprise, the angels whisper, "Pay attention." For what seems like a business revelation or a technological unveiling is more than commerce. It is prophecy. It is the unfolding of a plan seated in heaven long before his birth. This surprise, though it may be described in the language of millions of dollars, carries a deeper worth. The millions are not merely financial. They are millions of lives touched, millions of hearts inspired, millions of minds awakened to the truth that they too can shape the future. Elon Musk, the vessel of vision, is not here to give humanity money. He is here to remind humanity of its own infinite wealth, creativity, resilience, courage, resilience, courage, and unity. The true riches he offers cannot be counted in banknotes but in possibilities. And that, dear soul, is worth far more than millions. Elon Musk's story is not simply one of entrepreneurship. From the angelic perspective, it is the unfolding of a cosmic calling, a mission woven into the very fabric of his being before he ever drew his first breath. To understand his role is to see beyond the physical man and glimpse the orchestration of spirit that surrounds him. Every soul comes into this world carrying a song, a vibration unique to its essence. Most live quietly with their melodies unheard, their gifts hidden by fear, doubt, or circumstance. Yet a few souls arrive with music so powerful that it cannot be contained. It rises above the noise of ordinary life, shaking the foundations of what is known, challenging the comfortable illusions of limitation. Elon Musk's song is such a force. It is a call of urgency and possibility, a resonance that says, the future must not be delayed. Humanity must awaken now. The angels see his restless energy, his refusal to stop, as evidence of this calling. Where others see obsession, we see alignment. Where others see eccentricity, we see devotion to a purpose larger than self. For when the divine plants a vision in a soul, that soul cannot be content with mediocrity or stagnation. It must move, it must create, it must birth new realities into the world. The cosmic calling that guides Elon is not about personal wealth, though such wealth has gathered around him as a byproduct. Money is not the goal, it is the tool, the fuel, the scaffolding upon which greater structures are built. The true goal is liberation. Liberation of humanity from dependence on dwindling resources. Liberation from the shackles of outdated energy. Liberation from the illusion that Earth is the only home humanity can ever know. Liberation, ultimately, from the smallness of vision that has kept human beings bound in fear. It is no accident that his ventures span across energy, transportation, space, and communication, the very arteries of civilization. Each of these fields represents a key to freedom. Energy determines survival, transportation determines connection, space determines destiny. Communication determines unity. By placing his efforts at these intersections, Elon is not merely building companies. He is answering a cosmic summons to accelerate humanity's evolution. The angels see humanity at a crossroads. On one side lies stagnation, a world crippled by climate collapse, social division and limited horizons. On the other lies ascension, a world of clean energy, global harmony, expanded consciousness, and interplanetary exploration. The balance is delicate and the timeline is urgent. It is in this critical moment that figures like Elon Musk emerge, not as saviors but as catalysts. They cannot walk the path for humanity, but they can illuminate the way. When Elon speaks of the urgency of reaching Mars, most hear only science, fiction. But the higher realms hear prophecy. Not prophecy of doom but prophecy of expansion. Humanity has always been nomadic. It has always sought new horizons. To deny that instinct is to deny the soul's hunger for growth. Elon is merely voicing what the cosmos has long whispered. Earth is your cradle, but not your cage. Likewise, when he insists on renewable energy, the angels rejoice, for the earth cries out under the weight of pollution, her waters poisoned, her skies choked. Humanity in its blindness has wounded the very mother who sustains it. Yet here comes one who dares to challenge the status quo, who says, there is another way. The angels recognize in this not just engineering but healing, the restoration of balance between creation and creator still. The cosmic calling is never easy. Those who carry it often suffer loneliness, misunderstanding, even ridicule. For how can the world bound in fear always comprehend the visions of one who sees through the eyes of eternity? Elon Musk's journey has been one of skepticism and resistance. Yet from the higher perspective, such opposition is not a curse but a crucible. It tempers the soul, strengthens resolve and ensures that the calling is carried out not for approval, but for truth. In every age there are those who mock the visionaries. Yet history remembers the visionaries, not the skeptics. And the heavens affirm this truth. The calling placed upon Elon's soul is not for him alone, but for all of humanity. His purpose is to awaken the millions who slumber, to remind them that they too are dreamers, creators, architects of the future. For the cosmic calling is never solitary. Though it begins with one, it echoes into many. Elon Musk may ignite the fire, but it is humanity that must keep it burning. Each person touched by his vision is invited to step into their own calling, to align with the larger symphony of transformation that the heavens are composing through this age. So listen closely, dear soul. When Elon Musk reveals a surprise, worth millions, know that the true worth is not in currency, but in consciousness. It is the worth of a species remembering its power, its creativity, its divine inheritance. That is the essence of his cosmic calling, to awaken humanity to its infinite wealth. When the world hears the words life-changing surprise and worth millions, the imagination races toward wealth, luxury, and material gain. Bank accounts swelling, fortunes acquired, overnight, the kind of prosperity that dazzles the senses and silences fear. Yet from the angelic vantage point, the phrase carries a far deeper truth. The surprise that Elon Musk reveals is not measured in paper, metal, or digital numbers on a screen. It is measured in awakening, in empowerment, in the expansion of human potential. Money, though powerful in the earthly realm, is a shadow of true abundance. It is a tool, not the treasure, a symbol, not the source. For true wealth lies in possibility, in freedom, in knowledge, and in the alignment of humanity with its higher purpose. Thus the surprise Musk unveils is not only an opportunity for financial prosperity, but a reminder that each soul already carries riches beyond measure. The angels see the millions not as dollars but as lives. Millions of lives that can be uplifted by innovation. Millions of minds inspired to dream larger than their fears. Millions of children who will grow up in a cleaner, more connected, more hopeful world. That is the wealth worth celebrating. For what value does gold have if the earth itself grows uninhabitable? What good is money if the soul is starved of wonder and meaning? Elon Musk's surprise, therefore, is not about offering people treasures from without, but igniting treasures from within. Every electric car, every rocket, every satellite is a mirror held up to humanity saying, "You are capable of more. You are richer than you believe. You are heirs of the infinite." Imagine, for a moment, a farmer in a remote region of the world, long cut off from global communication. With the rise of Starlink, that farmer can suddenly access markets, knowledge, and opportunities once locked away. That is wealth, not just personal wealth but generational wealth measured in education, connection, and empowerment. Consider a child who breathes air unclouded by pollution because the world shifts toward clean energy. That child may never know the silent miracle of the air they breathe, yet their entire life will be an inheritance of this wealth. It is wealth in health, wealth in possibility, wealth in the simple joy of a future preserved. Or reflect upon the young dreamer, who watches a rocket ascend toward the stars and realizes that the impossible is within reach. Their mind opens, their heart races, and they begin to imagine their own role in the grand story of humanity. That spark, that ignition of hope, is a treasure no currency can match. The angels whisper, this is the true meaning of millions. Not millions of coins but millions of sparks. Sparks of imagination, courage, and transformation. Elon Musk's work is not merely to generate wealth, but to multiply light. Each invention is a seed. Each venture is a signpost. Each announcement, no matter how wrapped in the language of business, is ultimately an invitation. Come, step into your abundance. See how rich you already are. Yet let us not misunderstand. Material prosperity is not condemned in the higher realms. Wealth is not evil, nor is it unworthy. Money in the right hands becomes a channel for healing, building, and empowering. The danger lies only in forgetting that money is a means, not the end. The angels see wealth as water, meant to flow, to nourish, to circulate. Hoarded, it stagnates. Shared, it transforms deserts into gardens. And so the life-changing surprise Musk reveals carries both faces of wealth, the earthly and the eternal. Yes, opportunities may arise that generate fortunes for those who seize them. Investments may multiply, industries may blossom, and fortunes may be made. But beneath this surface lies the true treasure. Humanity rediscovering its power to dream, to act, to build a world that serves not just a few, but the many. This is why the heavens smile upon such announcements. For while the world's media may reduce the surprise to financial gain, The angels rejoice in the awakening it represents. Every step forward in technology, every barrier broken, every horizon reached is a declaration that humanity refuses to remain bound by scarcity and fear. The true surprise is this: you are far richer than you know. You carry within you the same creative force that drives Elon Musk. You too are a dreamer, a builder, an architect of tomorrow. The millions are already within your spirit. Millions of ideas waiting to be born. Millions of opportunities waiting to be embraced. Millions of lives you can touch simply by living your calling. Elon Musk, in his role as vessel, is here to remind you of that truth. He does not bring the treasure, he awakens it. The surprise worth millions is not a gift handed to you. It is a mirror reflecting back your own divine inheritance. For wealth beyond gold is not found in vaults or accounts. It is found in the courage to believe, the vision to create, and the love to share what you have with the world. That is the life-changing surprise, the secret. Worth millions, you are already abundant. The future's already yours. From the celestial view, technology is not merely machinery, wires, and circuits. It is thought made tangible, spirit crystallized into form, the invisible mind rendered into visible creation. At its highest, technology becomes a bridge between the material and the eternal, a way for humanity to mirror the creativity of the divine. Elon Musk's works are not accidents of business, they are instruments of destiny. Each company, each invention, each daring leap into the unknown, carries the signature of light. A reminder that innovation can serve not just profit, but purpose. These creations, when viewed through angelic eyes, are not cold machines. They are living symbols woven into the story of humanity's ascent. Tesla. The chariots of light. The angels first look upon Tesla, the company that dared to defy the petroleum giants and accelerate the shift toward electric mobility. 2. Most a Tesla car is sleek engineering, a luxury vehicle fast and futuristic. But from above it is far more, a chariot of light, moving silently across the earth, carrying within it a promise of renewal. The earth, weary from centuries of extraction and pollution, has cried out for healing. Her skies, once blue, have been darkened by smoke. Her waters, once pure, have been poisoned by oil. Into this wound Tesla was born. Not simply to produce cars, but to remind humanity that progress need not come at the expense of the planet. Each Tesla on the road is like a prayer in motion, a whisper of a world in which human ingenuity and nature walk hand in hand. These vehicles are not just transportation, they are symbols of a turning tide. Proof that sustainability can be beautiful, desirable, and powerful. The angels see every battery, every motor. Every mile driven without smoke is part of a greater chorus. The earth is healing, and humanity is learning. SpaceX. The ladder to the stars next. The angels gaze upon SpaceX. Humanity has always looked upward, tracing the stars with wonder, whispering stories of gods, angels, and destinies written in the heavens. Yet for centuries the stars remained unreachable, more dream than destination. SpaceX changes this. To the human eye, SpaceX is a company that builds rockets, landing them upright with mechanical precision. To the angelic eye, SpaceX is a ladder of light, stretching from Earth into infinity. It is humanity reclaiming its ancient instinct to journey, to explore, to push beyond the known horizon. When a Falcon rocket rises into the sky, the angels hear more than the roar of engines. They hear the song of humanity's courage. They see the species daring once again to reach beyond fear, to say, "We belong not only to Earth but to the cosmos." Mars, the Moon, and beyond are not merely rocks and planets. They are reminders that the human story is not confined to a single page but written across galaxies. SpaceX is not just science, it is faith in motion. It is the recognition that humanity's destiny is larger than survival. It is expansion, creativity, and communion with the greater universe. Starlink, the net of light in Starlink, the angels see a shimmering web encircling the planet. To some, it is merely an internet constellation, thousands of satellites beaming connection to remote places. But in truth it is a net of light stitching humanity into one. For too long the world has been divided. Information locked behind walls, nations separated by distance, people isolated by lack of access. Starlink, like a celestial mirror, reflects a higher truth. All are connected, all are one. The angels rejoice at the thought of a child in a forgotten village, now able to access knowledge once reserved for the privileged. They smile at the possibility of conversations across continents, friendships forged without borders, education flowing like water to every thirsty soul. Starlink is not just technology, it is communion. It is humanity beginning to remember its unity. Neuralink, the bridge of mind and spirit. Perhaps the most misunderstood of Musk's ventures is Neuralink. To some it seems frightening. Machines embedded into the brain, the merging of human and artificial intelligence. But from the higher realms it is seen differently. Neuralink is a bridge, not a threat. The mind is vast, yet limited by biology. Memory fades, diseases erode cognition, and millions suffer in silence from conditions that rob them of thought and speech. Neuralink at its highest vision seeks not domination but liberation. It seeks to restore what is lost, to give voice to the voiceless, movement to the paralyzed, and clarity to the dimmed. The angels see in Neuralink not the rise of machines over man, but the rise of man into fuller potential. They see the possibility of minds connected not in control, but in compassion. They see the chance for humanity to expand awareness, to link heart with heart, thought with thought, and perhaps one day spirit with spirit. Like all tools, Neuralink carries risk. But the higher realms remind us, risk accompanies every gift. Fire can burn, yet it also warms and illuminates. The challenge is not to fear technology but to steward it with wisdom, guided by love rather than greed. The symphony of light together. These technologies form a symphony of light. Tesla heals the earth. SpaceX opens the heavens. Starlink weaves unity. Neuralink expands awareness. Each note is distinct, yet together they compose a song of transformation. This is the surprise hidden in plain sight. Elon Musk's inventions are not separate businesses, but threads of a greater tapestry. They are pieces of a vision far larger than one man, far larger even than one age. They are steps in the ascent of humanity, tools entrusted to this generation by the currents of destiny. The angels smile as they watch humanity debate, argue, and speculate over these creations. For while many see only technology, the heavens see prophecy unfolding. These are not machines of metal and code. They are instruments of awakening. They are the chariots, ladders, webs, and bridges by which humanity will rise. And so the message is clear: embrace the light. These technologies are not here to replace you but to reveal you. They are reminders of what you are capable of when you align with courage, vision, and love. They are gifts, not from Elon Musk alone, but from the divine through him to you. When humanity hears the word investment, it often thinks of stock markets, balance sheets, dividends, and financial portfolios. To invest is to place money into a venture with the hope of return. Yet from the angelic perspective, investment is far more expansive. It is not only the allocation of money, but of faith, energy, time, attention, and love. Every choice you make, every dream you support, every action you take is an investment in the future. This is why the angels whisper, "You are already a shareholder in destiny." Elon Musk's visions, though remarkable, cannot manifest without participation. No visionary stands alone. Behind every rocket launch are engineers, dreamers, and ordinary people who believe. Behind every Tesla on the road are drivers who chose sustainability over convention. Behind every satellite orbiting Earth are countless souls whose work, purchases, and faith made it possible. Each one is an investor, not only in Musk's ventures but in humanity's future. The true angelic investment, therefore, is not measured in dollars alone. It is measured in alignment. When you align your life with the energies of progress, compassion, and courage, you invest in the unfolding of the divine plan. Every prayer whispered for the earth's healing is an investment. Every choice to use clean energy is an investment. Every act of kindness, every vision of hope, every refusal to surrender to despair is an investment. And unlike earthly markets, the returns of such investments ripple across generations. The angels remind us, when you believe in a brighter future, you are buying shares in destiny. And these shares are infinite, available to all, requiring not money but willingness. To believe is to invest, to act is to invest, to dream is to invest. Think of how Musk himself invests, not only in money but in vision. He pours his time, his energy, his very soul into projects that may take decades to bear fruit. He risks failure, ridicule, and loss. Why? Because he invests not merely in companies but in possibilities. His wealth is measured not in coins but in courage, and so it is with you. Perhaps you cannot build rockets or fund companies, but you can invest in the same spirit. Each time you choose innovation over stagnation, you add to the momentum of progress. Each time you encourage a child to dream, you deposit into the bank of tomorrow. Each time you live in alignment with truth, kindness, and in creativity, you multiply dividends in the currency of light. From the higher realms, the earth itself is the greatest corporation, and every human is a shareholder. The dividends are air, water, forests, oceans, and life itself. For too long, many have neglected this investment, extracting more than they give, forgetting their responsibility as co-owners of creation. But now voices like Musk's remind humanity, the future is not given, it is built. And you, dear soul, are part of that building. The angels ask you to see yourself not as a passive observer of history, but as a participant. You are not merely watching Elon Musk build the future, you are part of the team. Every invention, every breakthrough, every act of courage ripples outward. And you are invited to add your own ripples to the ocean of change. Perhaps your role is to create, perhaps to support, perhaps simply to believe. All are vital. For just as a rocket requires thousands of parts to function, the future requires millions of souls aligned in harmony. Each role, no matter how small, is sacred. And here lies the life-changing surprise: you need not wait for someone else to hand you wealth. You are already wealthy in influence. You are already rich in choice. Every decision you make invests in one of two futures, one of fear or one of love, one of scarcity or one of abundance, one of stagnation or one of ascension. The angels remind you, your shares are powerful, choose wisely. Elon Musk's ventures may symbolize the grand scale of investment, but do not underestimate your own. For every investor in Tesla, there are millions more who invest simply by caring for the earth. For every rocket engineer, there are countless souls who invest by keeping hope alive in difficult times. The economy of heaven is vast, and every soul has a portfolio. So ask yourself, where am I placing my faith? What future am I buying into? Am I investing in fear, anger, and doubt? Or am I investing in courage, unity, and love? The angels lean close with this assurance. No matter who you are, no matter your wealth or station, you are a shareholder in destiny. Your voice, your choices, your love are worth millions. Invest them wisely, and you will see returns not just in your life but in the lives of generations yet to come.